We're heading towards the end of the year now, and this is the time where a lot of people like to set New Year's resolutions, right? Myself included. I like to set goals for the new year. I like to hit the ground running in the new year, and it's exciting. You know, the moment when you're writing it down, when you're sharing with your friends and your family what your resolutions are, it's very exciting because it's so easy and it's so clear to envision what that might look like. You know, the dream of what your resolution points towards and what that life would be like if you meet your goals. But you know, statistics show, and there was actually a study done by Strava, you know, the exercise app. They did a study that showed that a majority of people, like at least 85% of people who write New Year's resolutions, after the first month, after the end of January, they no longer have that momentum. Right? It could be weight loss. Like say, for example, you want to lose 20 pounds in the new year and you want to have a new you by the end of December of the next year. Their studies are showing that by the end of January, even though they set their resolution to exercise 3 times a week, by the end of January, they're no longer going to the gym, even if they paid for the membership. And so it seems insurmountable because a year seems like a long time, but at the end of that year, it doesn't feel like a long time, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Because time goes by so fast. And the older you get, time seems to go by a lot faster. So then the question becomes, how do you keep New Year's resolutions? How do you keep that momentum that you have in the first week of the year? The first week is fabulous. Everything seems to be going well and fantastic. And how do you make sure you do that 52 times, right, to the end of the year? How do you ensure that, right? I would say that the number one thing is to make sure you know your reasons why you're doing it. Because if there's one very core driver in human beings, is that they have a reason that's bigger than themselves. If you want to lose weight, let's say, for example, you want to lose weight and your resolution in the new year was to lose 20 pounds, then you have to be able to connect to a reason that's bigger than yourself. Because if it's about you, if your success is all about you, it's easy for that goal to fizzle out. But if your goal was more than you, it was bigger than you. You wanted to lose weight, for example, because your kids are still young and you want to be around for them longer. You know, you don't want to have a heart attack. You don't want to not be able to play with them. You want to keep up with them. And this is a critical time in their lives because they're just about to go off to school. And it's the last year that you can spend time with them at home before they're at school. That is a reason that's bigger than yourself. So think about that. Whatever your goal is for the new year, what is the reason why you're doing it? And that reason has to be bigger than you. It can't be about you because success is not about you. Career success is not about you. And yes, you are having the success. Yes, you achieved the success. You earned the success and you can talk about the success. You can be praised for that success. But your success is actually not about you. Your career, right? I always say this. Your career is more than just something you do to make money. It's the biggest form of expression of who you are and the impact you want to have in this world. So if you're setting career goals for this new year, think about what are the real reasons for why you're doing it, and it must be bigger than you. Your career is more than just for you. You're making that paycheck, you're bringing in that income, and it's not just for you. There's a reason bigger than that. What is that reason? That reason why, your why, is going to carry you through. Right? And the second thing I would say is that when you're setting goals, right, you have a resolution, of course you got to set goals. You set milestones. Maybe you have weekly milestones. Maybe you have monthly milestones and quarterly milestones. And this is very important because what gets measured gets improved. You have to set goals because then how do you know you've made progress? And you have to measure those goals. But here's the thing about goals. And I have nothing wrong with setting goals. I set goals. I have weekly goals. I even have daily goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals, and then an annual goal that I work towards. Right? And all of these goals will go towards that annual goal. Right? But here's the thing about goals. Everybody can have a goal. If you look at people who are successful, they've set goals. People who failed as well, they've set goals too. So what's the difference? It's not that you set a goal that makes a difference. Right? People who are rich have goals. People who are poor also set goals. So that's not the defining difference here. It's not about setting goals. Here's the thing that makes the difference. You set a goal, but you also set a process to meet that goal. That's the defining feature. The person who is successful at meeting that goal, they have a successful process that gets them there. The ones that didn't make it, the ones that failed, they had a goal, they set a goal and they wrote it down. They might have declared it to their friends and family. They might have declared it to an accountability partner, but they didn't have a successful process to get them there, right? So there's two things that you can do to make sure that your New Year's resolution meets it every week of the year, every day of the year. That is to make sure that you have a clear and compelling why that'll drive you, that'll motivate you to your core. And also to make sure that when you set your goal, that you also have a process that'll take you there. The process is key. Setting a goal is not going to be the differentiator. It might feel great when you do it. You have it written down. It feels like a sense of accomplishment, but it is a false sense of accomplishment. You didn't accomplish, yes, you accomplished writing them down, and yes, you might have accomplished a little bit of clarity, but that is not going to be the thing that moves mountains. That's not going to be the thing that moves the needle, right? It's not going to be the key to a lifelong achievement. Just simply setting goals is not the key to a lifelong achievement. It's also not going to be the key to accomplishing and achieving the career of your dreams. You have to have a compelling process that works, a proven process that works. So you set that process and you go out to achieve your goals. If you like this content, give me a thumbs up and also put into the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me, what are your New Year's resolutions? What goals are you setting for yourself, and do you have a process for them? So share with me in the comments below. So let me know. Do you have a resolution, and what is one of your top goals that you want to achieve in the new year? And make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Right, ring that bell so that you receive notifications every time I upload a new video.